projection. We are all guilty of it. Throwing away the current moment as our mind places ourself in a time and place that does not exist. We either predict or revisit undesirable circumstances, and as a result of an imagination running wild, we experience anxiety, worry, stress, fear, and regret. Is it possible to manage this? Painful projection thinks so. If you have pulled this card, you are asked to become aware of the times you find yourself leaving the only moment you have to place your existence in the past or future, reliving or playing scenarios you don't like the look of in your head. The past can't be changed. As much as some of us would like to change the past, we simply cannot. Many of us replay old scenes in our heads, revisiting our past pain. Some of us even go as far as to revisit the pain of our ancestors. Whilst we cannot ignore the past, we don't have to relive it. It has already been and gone. Have you ever sat in the comfort of your home, replaying an argument you had with someone in your head, thinking, I should have said that? As you do this, nothing changes in the past. Instead, what occurs is you build more anger and frustration in the present. The same goes for anything that you wish you could change, an action that you performed that may have brought about an undesirable circumstance, the breaking up with a partner, the spending of money on an item that now appears to be a waste. Projecting back to these times and wishing you could change them only puts a downer on your present moment, the only moment you truly have. Sure, reflection is great, but dwelling is not. When you find yourself sitting, thinking heavily about the past and feeling low in the now because of it, can you remember that there is nothing you can change that has already occurred, but there is always plenty you can learn and bring to the moment you have. Instead of feeling shame, regret, or sadness, can you take lessons into the now? Can you allow the past to be a blessing, not a curse? It will come when it comes. It is more than normal to think about the future, but if we spend too much time there, we once again take from the most powerful place, the now. It is especially counterproductive if we spend much time worrying about the future. The only way you can build your future is by using the present. By the time the future does arrive, it too will be the present. You can allow your imagination to drift into the future, but all you ever truly have is now. So long as you are elsewhere, you miss the greatest of gifts. So why do we do it? Why do we foresee terrible circumstances? Why do we see our partner leave us? Why do we see the loss of money? Why do we see a terrible day at work? Why do we choose to imagine ourselves in the worst of places? We could be laying in bed with a loved one, but at the same time, totally not there. Why do we choose to experience that does not exist over the beauty that sits in front of us? We have all worried excessively about something that never came true. We have all also worried about something that has come true, though what we failed to see in our worry was the solutions that also presents itself. If only we could realize that our imagination is the source of much of our pain. When you find yourself feeling anxious, nervous, or worried because your mind is predicting undesirable outcomes, can you first take the time to notice that all that is happening is your imagination is thinking things? That what's going on in your mind is not yet true and may never even come true? Can you finally remind yourself that if an undesirable circumstance eventually becomes your present, that you will have the strength to deal with it if and when it arises? The mind, when predicting the future, typically sees problems and rarely the solutions. Why? Because there is not yet truly a problem to solve. Get out of the coma. When we sit in the past or future, our eyes become misty. We cannot hear or see our surroundings. We are so deep in thought that our world no longer exists. It is almost like we are in a coma, missing out on what is right in front of us. Our relationships, friendships, and connections, that beautiful plate of food, or our favorite show, our hobbies and commitments all fade away whilst we reside in a time that does not exist. Painful projections challenges you to step out of the coma by reminding yourself of a few different things. When in the past or the future, all that's occurring may feel real, but it sits only in your imagination. The only moment you ever have is now, so take each moment as and when it comes. You have everything it takes to deal with whatever arises. Have you found yourself painfully projecting? If so, do your best to sit with the lessons in this card. Practice them, and over time you may find that anxiety, stress, worry, and regret cease to exist in your life. They will be traded for a fearless approach to life filled with only lessons and blessings. It may take time and practice, but it can and will occur with patience.